Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome tonight to the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you are well. I'm just trying to adjust a few things here. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Welcome tonight. Hello, as you're coming in to the broadcast, why don't you share? Hold on one second. Howdy. Good evening, all. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the broadcast tonight. Just trying to find myself on this other. Hello. Hello, Miriam. Blessings to you. Hello, Brenda. Thank you. I believe I saw someone share the broadcast. Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. This Tuesday, February the 9th. I'm so glad that you are here, that you are joining. Blessed to see you. Oh, it's great to be. Hello, Mika. Hello. Blessings tonight to everyone who is joining the broadcast. Good evening. Thank you so much for being a part of this great Tuesday evening broadcast. Listen, it is going to be, I think it is. It's going to be amazing tonight. What we are going to talk about. Listen, I had to break it up into two parts. So tonight will be the first part, and then next week, Tuesday, we'll come back and do the second part. That's how good it is. That's how good it's going to be. I believe many of you have already seen. Welcome as you are joining into the broadcast. Listen, if you are joining me for the very first time, I want you to let me know where you are joining from, what city, what state, what country. Please let us know so that we can welcome you proper into the broadcast tonight. I want to first thank you for all of those who are hanging in there and sticking in and coming and joining. I believe that you are gathering value from this time. Hello, Cassandra Williams Kelly. Hello, Jeanette. Oh, my sweet Jeanette, all the way from I think it's Rhode Island. Blessings. Hello, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Yes, yesterday was my birthday. Listen, I'm still celebrating. Okay, so I'm celebrating with you tonight. Hello, Mama Platt. Yes, I am celebrating. Still celebrating. So thank you so much. Yes, yesterday was my birthday. It was such a great day, a blessed day, a day where I definitely had a time of reflection and just time of thanking God for, listen, another year of life. So thank you all for joining me this evening. Thank you all for joining me tonight. So listen, as you are in the broadcast, so thank you all for even sharing. I saw some who were sharing the broadcast tonight. Thank you for that. Thank you, Facebook, for joining me. Thank you, Periscope, for joining me. Thank you. Oops, sorry about that. Thank you, YouTube Live, for joining me. I'm so glad that you are all here. I'm looking forward to just a great time tonight with all of us as we dive into this topic of show up and release your power. Woo! Yes. Hello, Kwani. My niece is here. Listen, I thank you so much for all of you joining this evening. So I'm excited about this. I had to break it up into two parts because as I begin to dive into it and begin to talk about some things, I was like, I can't get everything in tonight. I'm going to come back next week and begin to share Then, so if you're joining me, please, if you're joining me for the very first time, please let us know that you are joining us for the very first time, and then let us know where you are joining from, what city, what state, what country. We often have our my mentees from Cambodia, sometimes my friends from Kenya join, sometimes from Ghana, sometimes from Nigeria. I am just so blessed to have the opportunity to share and to empower individuals globally, especially women. Hello, Franklin. Thank you so much. Love you too. Thank you for joining tonight. Blessings to you. Blessings to you tonight, man of God. Blessings to you. So listen, tonight our topic is show up and release your power. So somebody type that in the chat tonight. Show up and release your power. We thank all of you for joining tonight. Share the broadcast. I do believe that this is going to be a blessing to those who come back and hear it. So tonight you have joined the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast. And listen, we here on the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast, we speak life to dead places so that they can what? Spring forth and thrive. We speak life to those dormant places, those places that have been arrested in adult development, and we speak life so that they can be activated and then begin to produce. And we speak life to broken places so that they can be healed and restored. Hello, blessing you, Aloka. Blessings to you, sweetie. Thank you so much for joining tonight. Yes, yes. Show up and release your power. So tonight, yes, you have joined the Speaking Hope and Life broadcast. I am your host, Nedra Buckmeyer. If you don't know who I am, you may be joining for the first time. I am a certified life coach. I am a pastor. I am an author, an international speaker. I am a mentor, and one of the most beloved titles I have is wife of Kurt Buckmeyer. I passed along with him, Spirit and Truth Worship Center. And also, I am a daughter of the King, two of one of my most beloved titles. So tonight, let's jump in. Let's jump in. So this is part one. This is part one. Hello, Ivy. Thank you so much for joining tonight. So show up and release your power. Have you ever been hesitant to move on an idea, move on a dream, move forward or in with a goal, a vision, a project, or even an event? Is that anybody? You could just raise your hand. You can show an emoji and say, yeah, that's me. I've been there. I've had some concerns. You may have had some things planned, and you may have even done something similar in the past to what you are endeavoring to launch or to birth or to release. But you others have not been aware of you doing these things, right? Or you may not have readily want to show up in this space, or you're afraid to call it and give it a name, right? You're afraid to call it and give it a name because others may not readily know you for that particular thing that you're trying to launch, that particular thing that you're trying to show up in or as. Hello, Tina. Welcome to the broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for joining. So anybody out there, you may not have been readily recognized for that thing that you are trying to endeavor, that thing. Okay. Mika says, yes, that's you. Right. And then maybe sometimes a little fear may come in, a little angst. You may be a little, just a little like, I don't know if I should, I don't know if I should do this, because I'm not known for this. So what you're doing in that space is where you are right now and what's in your wheelhouse. Your wheelhouse is the things that you do well, the things that you are familiar with, the things that that you just kind of come and you don't have to work for it. You don't have to you don't have to, what they use that term, grind for it, but it just comes naturally for you. Well, this other thing may be something else. Hello, Dr. Kimberly Winters. Blessings to you, woman of God. Hello, Brenda. Thank you so much for joining. So these things may not have come easily for you, or you may not have been even seen in a space doing the thing that you are doing or that you desire to do. So what's happening is you're going from a place of familiarity to a place of something unfamiliar to you, possibly, and to others. When something is familiar, it's well known from either a close or long association. So it's something that's not, out of the blue. It's something that they've seen and known you for. Whereas the unfamiliar thing is something that you're not known, you're not recognized for, right? And it's an unusual characteristic, or maybe even something that you have not done. So this happens sometimes, when you feel hesitant to move in something, or to show up in something, or something that you've envisioned, or something that's been kind of either burning in your heart. You're like, I don't know, because one, you're thinking, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen when I try, or if I try to launch it. So you may be asking yourself a series of these questions if you ever find yourself hesitant to move forward with a goal, a dream, a vision, aspiration, any of those things. You may be asking yourself, can I really do this? Will I even succeed at this? Will it work? Will people even see me in this capacity? Am I sure if I should even do this? Will anyone, if you're trying to even launch a business and you have services and products, and you're thinking, my goodness, well, will anyone actually buy my products? Will they even listen to me? Will I launch this broadcast, start a podcast, or start a blog? Whatever it is, when you have that thing within your heart, that dream, that goal, that vision, or whatever it may be, and you're trying to cross over from that familiar place to the unfamiliar place, some of these questions may begin to churn in your heart. They may begin to churn in your mind, because we're talking about, remember, show up and release your power. I promise we're going on a journey tonight, and it won't be a long extended journey. We're going to get there, and this is part one. So some of these questions, they may come up in your mind. And so tonight I want to encourage you, whoever you are tonight that are watching and that will watch the replay. I want to encourage you to show up and release your power. I want someone to type that. I want someone to type that in the chat tonight. Show up and release your power. Show up and release. Hello, Tanita. Blessings to you. So listen, in order for you to show up, the first thing that you must do is that you must confront fear. Anybody has ever tried to move forward in a thing that was unfamiliar, something that you may not have done before, and you were faced with fear? Fear, the fear of either failure, or the fear of either try. Hello, Adela, blessings to you, sweetheart. Yes, show up and release your power. You're like, I don't know. They don't really know me for this. They don't know me like that. I'm not sure. They're used to me doing X, Y, and Z. Who am I to think that I can show up in this space, show up in this place? Listen. This is for you tonight. This is absolutely for you. For those of you who may have even been asking those questions. Well, will it work? Can I do it? Can I launch it? Can I cross over? Can I, even bring about this other area of expertise that's in my life? They don't know me for this, but this is something that I really am feeling passionate about, that I'm feeling that I need to do this. There's an area of excellence that I know that I've been cultivating, but I haven't shown it to the world. I haven't shown up in this space. I haven't shown up. So therefore they don't know. I want to encourage you tonight to show up and release your power. So in order to show up, we just said that what? You must confront your fear. Face whatever emotions that are trying to derail you. You cannot conquer what you cannot face. That's about right. You can't conquer it if you don't face it. You can't defeat it if you don't face it. Listen, if it's something you can't suppress it away. You can't blow it away. You can't wish it away. You're going to have to confront it. And when you confront something, that means normally you're facing something that's closely related to a challenge, something that may be challenging you. So you're going to have to face it in order to be able to move beyond it. You can't suppress it. You have to face it. Listen, you need to remind yourself of who you are. Yes. Dr. Kimberly said she's been there. Yes. Remind yourself of who you are. Listen, what is it, the promises that God has spoken over you? What have you been declaring over yourself? What is it that you know within your heart and mind, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that God has spoken to you, that He said this to you? Thank you for those who are joining via Periscope. Thank you so much tonight for joining. Listen, confront the fear. What does God say? What is His promises concerning you? What are you declaring over yourself? Jeremiah 29:11, the message version of that biblical verse says, I know what I'm doing. This is God. He says, I know what I am doing. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you, not to abandon you, plans to give you the future you hope for. Now, I know that there's some of you out there that are hoping for some things differently. You are hoping for something to work out differently, to change, to move beyond where you are. I believe that you are out there tonight. I know that I'm not only talking to myself, I know that I am not only sharing this with myself, right? Yes. Hello, Diane. Blessings to you. Hello, my cousin Shaquille. Thank you so much for joining. So, listen, the first thing, in order for you to show up and to release your power, as this, you must confront your fear. You must confront whatever emotion that is trying to block you, as trying to stop you from stepping into that dream, stepping into that place, that goal, that desire, that aspiration, that thing that's churning in your heart. You need to, the first thing you need to do is to conquer your fear or whatever other emotion that might be happening right now, because you're trying to launch into an area that you may not be known for, or something that you have not done previously. So the first thing is what? Conquer, confront fear. The second thing is to destroy limiting beliefs. Oh my goodness. Come on, we're coming after limiting beliefs tonight. What is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is something that you believe about yourself that ultimately, listen, this is what it does. It places limitations on you. It places limitations on your ability and your capacity. Somebody type that in the chat, because I want you to remember that. A limiting belief is something that you believe about yourself, and it limits you, and it places these limits upon your ability and your capacity. So if something is limiting you, you will remain in bondage to what it dictates. Mm-hmm. I want to have a Selah moment. I want to stop, pause, and I want you to think and hear that clearly. If you, the limiting belief, it will limit you, and you will move to the dictations of this limiting belief. What is a limit? A limit is a point or a level beyond which something does not or may not extend or pass. It is a restriction on the size or amount of something permissible or possible. Listen, limiting beliefs creep up, and they will cripple you from moving forward. They will incapacitate you, your dreams, that thing that you're trying to launch, the idea that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt is a God idea. If you linger around on the side of, I don't know if I should, too long, then you may miss the timing and the moving of when you should move forward. So limiting beliefs need to be destroyed. They need to be destroyed. Listen, I want you to hear this. When the word ability, the word ability itself means that's your actual skill. Okay, either whether it's you have the ability of you're mentally, you have the ability with this skill, or it's physical, it's a natural, and something natural or acquired. So that's your ability. It's your actual skill. It's something that you possess, right? And your capacity is the potential to develop a skill. So a limiting belief is blocking and restricting both of those. Your ability is what you already know how to do. And your capacity is the potential to be able to develop a skill. So it's stopping both of those. The limiting beliefs. Listen, the thing that you already know how to do, the thing that you're well versed in. That's what a limiting belief will do. It will stifle that very thing, the thing that you know how to do well. It will cause you not to move even in the thing that you know to do. That's what a limiting belief is. So they must do what? They must be destroyed. Absolutely must be destroyed. So we're talking about show up, release your power, and this is part one. And we're saying, what is it? What do I need to do in order to show up? The first thing was to conquer your fear. Whatever emotion that's really trying to stifle you and to stop you, you must confront it. Secondly, we said we must destroy limiting beliefs. Those beliefs limit you. They try to castrate your desires, your dreams, those things, using your ability, the thing that you already know how to do. It wants to stop you even in that. And then even begin to stop your capacity from learning more. Thirdly, we're going to have to move and act in courage. Move with, act with, in, on, however you want to put that, in courage. Listen, anytime that you are trying to go from a place of unfamiliarity or a place that you may not have, moved in before, there may be a little angst, a little I don't know if I can. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jump in. I'm going to go ahead and do this because I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So listen, fear, you throw fear, caution to the wind, and you continue to move forward, right? So listen, when you move forward with courage, that is not the absence of fear. You're not allowing fear to stop you. You're not allowing fear to immobilize you. You're not going to allow those feelings of what you're thinking, I can't, I shouldn't, I'm not sure. You're not allowing that to stop you. So what you do, you are forging ahead in the even in the midst of feeling a little trepidation. Is there anybody out there that is a witness? Hello, Joyce, blessings to you. Yes. Is there anybody out there that has had to move forward in spite of, listen, the fear or whatever else that was coming up trying to stop you? So courage, I want you to hear this definition. I love definitions. Courage is mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. And it's also the ability to do something that frightens you. So you're not allowing it to stop you. You're not allowing it to immobilize you. You're going to move beyond it. You're going to act in courage and you're going to move forward. So the first things in order to show up, we said, was what? You must confront fear, whatever emotion that's trying to stop you from showing up and releasing your power. The second thing was that we must destroy limiting beliefs, anything that's going to stop you and block you in your mind. This is the thing that you're thinking about yourself. Listen, we know that the mind is the battlefield, and we have to attack certain things in our mind. Listen, because if you can change your mind, you'll change your life. You'll change your mindset, you will change your life, right? And lastly, the third thing is that you need to move and act in courage. Courage is the moral and mental strength in order for you to venture and persevere in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So when you show up and release your power, what does that word show up mean? It actually is a word, two words that are in the dictionary. It's in the dictionary. I didn't think it would be, but it actually, yes, you are doing it. Yes, Joyce, you are absolutely doing it. Hello, Dr. Janine. Blessings to you, woman of God. So show up. I use my definition that I just kind of pulled together through years of life and showing up is that, listen, you need to be ready, you need to be present, you need to be willing, you need to be able, and you need to be intentional. You're not just showing up looking cute. You're just not showing up, listen, somebody with a new outfit on. You are showing up on purpose with a purpose. You are ready, you are present, you are willing, and you are absolutely able. That's my definition of showing up. But when you look it up in the dictionary, the words show up, the definitions is described as being conspicuous or clearly visible. You arrive or you turn up for an appointment or a gathering. When you show up, be conspicuous or clearly visible. Come on, somebody. Listen, I believe that God is intending for us to be conspicuous and clearly visible. Not that we can not so that we can toot our own horn, not so that we can talk about how wonderful we are, but listen, as we show up with Him. We show up with His strength. We show up with His power. We show up with the inherent gifts that He has placed on the inside of us. We show up in purpose. We show up ready, right? We show up, and as we are showing up, we are showing up as His sons and as His daughters. So I want you to speak to yourself right now, and I want you to say, it's time to emerge. Listen, it's time to emerge. Is that a witness to anybody tonight? It is time to emerge. I want you to put it in the chat. What I want you to do, I want you to state your name and say, I see Tanita's on here. Say, Tanita, it's time to emerge. Dr. Janine, say, it's time to emerge. Miriam, say, it is time to emerge. I want you to begin to put that out in the atmosphere. Type it. And as you are typing it, I want you to begin to open your mouth and declare it. Olivia, thank you so much for joining tonight. I want you to say it is time to emerge. Tonight, we're talking about show up and release your power. There are several of you on here already tonight, and I absolutely believe there's some places that God has intended for you to show up in. And some of us may feel a little intimidated by the greatness of the plan, by the largeness of what He's calling us to do. But I want to speak to you tonight and let you know it is time to emerge. I want you to say it out your mouth. I want you to hear yourself speak it out of your mouth. Listen, the word of God tells us that life and death are in the power of our tongues. And those who eat the fruit of it, listen, you'll eat the fruit of what you speak. Oh my goodness. Many of us are eating the fruit of what we've already sown, of what we've already spoken. How about we flip the script? How about we change what we say? We change our confession and we begin to confess. We begin to confess those things that God has said about us, that He's meant for us from the very foundation of the world. And I declare to you tonight that it's time for you to emerge. It's time for you to come out of obscurity. It's time for you to stand up in your place. There is a destined place for each of you. Yes, there's a place of influence. There's a place of authority. There's a place where He's called you to walk, where He's called you to tread. And many of us may be fearful about that place, but I want to encourage you tonight to show up. Remember what we said, that words, what I said it was, that means to do what? Be present, to be ready, be willing and able, and you're showing up with intent. You are showing up on purpose. Listen, it is time to emerge. I want you to hear what the meaning of the word emerge means. It means to move out of or away from something and come into view. That's already speaking to somebody right now. Emerge means to move out of or away from something to come into view. I believe tonight that there are many of you that are watching, that God is saying that it's time for you to come out of or away from that place of inconsistency, that place of procrastination, that place of trying and, well, actually I'm getting ready to do and not doing. Come on, somebody. He wants you to to move out of or away from something, and God says, come into view. He wants you to become a parent. He wants you to show up in your importance. He wants you to show up in your prominence. Yes, he absolutely wants you to do that. It's time for you to emerge. Because remember, we're talking about show up and release your power. Hallelujah. Is anybody witnessing that tonight? It's time for me to emerge from the place of obscurity, emerge from the place of inactivity. Yes, some of you are inactive, and what has held you is fear. It stifles you. It's trying to cripple you. It's trying to muzzle you. It wants you to keep your mouth closed because you're familiar with some things, but the thing that you're about to launch, the thing that you're about to release, the thing that you're about to birth is something that's not familiar to you, but it's been churning in your heart. It's been churning in your mind. It's been churning in your spirit. And listen tonight, God is saying it is time, daughter. It is time, son, for you to emerge. Move out of or away from something and come into view. Oh my goodness, tonight, if that's you tonight, if you believe that the Lord is saying to you, I must emerge, then you need to just put some hand emojis out there and say, Lord, you're speaking to me with clarity tonight. You're speaking to me, God. You are speaking to me. Yes, Dr. Janine, I see it. I see it. Yes, I see. Yes, hallelujah. Yes, 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 yes. Press the button. Exactly, Jackie. Yes, press the button and move from inactivity to activation. Yes, tonight. Okay, Tina, I stand in faith with you tonight. I stand with you, sister, saying to you, emerge, move out and away from something and come into view, whatever that something is that's trying to hold you in that place, that's trying to stifle you in a certain place and keep you in that place. He says to emerge. Emerge. And so when you think about, well, how exactly do I release my power? How do I release my power? How do I do that? What is my power? How do I do that? Because we're talking about show up and release your power. So the first thing is you must realize, listen very clearly, you must realize that you have something of worth to share, to be, and to do. I want you to agree with that tonight. Yes, Tanita, I see you, I see it. I see you, I see your comments tonight. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for you that are watching? It means that you must first realize that you have something of worth to share, to be, or to do. Do you believe that tonight? That you have something of worth to share? You have something of worth to do. Yes, Periscope, thank you for chiming in. Yes, yes, this is for you tonight. Something of worth to be, to do, and or to share. Listen, we're talking about releasing, show up and releasing your power. Power is simply this. The definition is the ability to do or act. It's the capability of doing or accomplishing something. That's simple. It's your capability, your ability, to do or to act. The capability of doing and accomplishing something. Now, I already know that there are gifts and talents and abilities that are already inherent within you. In order to release that power, you must first realize that you have the power, that you have a gifting, that you have something that is of worth, that's something that is of value that you can share and that you have the capability to do. That's the first thing in how you release your power. I want you to look at your hands. I want you to look at your hands tonight, and I want you to answer the question, what's in my hands? I'm not talking about physically what's in your hands, but what I am talking about, what is the skill within your hands? What's the ability within your hands? And it could extend to the what's in your mind. What are you capable of doing? What do you already have in your hands? Oftentimes, the thing that we need, that we're sometimes reaching outside for, we're reaching outside for, is hidden in what we already have. Oh my goodness. It's hidden already in your hands. It's hidden already in your mouth. It's hidden already in the plan. It's hidden already with what you possess. Now, I do believe that there's times that we need to go and we need to be mentored. We need to be coached. There are times that there's things that are outside of us, and we need to go and extend ourselves to those places so that we can fine tune and create a greater level of excellence in what we already have. But there are some things that are already in our hands. It's already in our capability. It's already in our wheelhouse, and we are overlooking it because we don't think that that's it. We're overlooking it because we do it so well. We're overlooking it because we're almost discounting that measure of the ability and the excellence that you do it so well. And so you're like, surely it can't be that. I want you, last week we talked about taking another look. I want you to take another look to see what's in your hands so that you have the ability to show up and release your power. So the first thing we said in how you release your power is that you must first realize that you have something that is of worth, that's of value, to do and to be. Yes, Jackie, you have power and something that's worth that's in your hands. You absolutely do. What is in your hands? What are you working that's already within your hands? Secondly, you no longer stifle who you were created to be. Don't stifle who you were created to be. And what do I mean by that? When you stifle something, you withhold it from circulation, from its expression. You are holding it as if someone has their hand over your mouth, and that stifle. It's cut off. Whether it's your voice, whether it's your action, your ability to move, your ability to grow, your ability to make decisions. You do not want to be in a place where you are stifled. You no longer stifle who you were created to be. This is how you release your power. When you release something, you allow it, you enable it to escape from confinement. You allow it to escape from that place where you've held it, you set it free. You allow it to move and to act and to breathe and to flow freely. Cultivate what's in your hands. What is in your hands? That means you need to nurture it. That means you nurture it so that it begins to grow. Your natural gifts, your talents, and your abilities. What is your talent and your ability? Ask yourself that question. Do you know? What is it? Can it be used to help someone? Can it be used to help others? Can it be used to lift others? Can it be used to inspire others? Can it be used to transform others? Listen, inherently within each of you, that means that you were born with it. No one gave it to you. It is placed there by God. Inherent within you is the solution to someone's problem. Inherent within you is a plan that will help some business. Inherent within you is the creativity that will help launch whatever it is that you are desiring to launch, or help others. And with your creativity, you have the ability to help others to launch. Listen, inherently within you is the strategy, inventions. Listen, these ideas are meant to be shared with the world. They are meant to be released. They are meant to flow freely, which is why God placed them on the inside of us. They are inherent. And in order to release your power, you can no longer stifle who you were created to be. Can I just prophesy to you tonight. I want you to know that the world is waiting on your creativity. The world is waiting on your strategy. The world is waiting on you to step into your power. The world is waiting on you to release that what is inherent on the inside of you. The world is waiting on that idea. The world is waiting on that fashion. The world is waiting on that whatever that creation that you are creating. The world is waiting for your solution to be released. The world is waiting on you. I want you to know tonight that the world is waiting on you to become a parent. The world is waiting on you to realize your importance. Your importance. The world is waiting on you to step into your prominence. Yes. Yes, it is. Absolutely. It's waiting on you. It's waiting on you to realize your power, your ability to act, to do, your capability of doing or accomplishing something. Yes, 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 yes. It's waiting on you. It's waiting on us. Ah, my Lord, my Lord. When you think about that, when you think about that, the world is waiting on me. What begins to turn in your mind that, oh my goodness, someone is literally waiting for whatever, for what I have, the gift I have to release. It's waiting on what I have to offer. It's waiting on that solution. It's waiting on that idea. It's waiting on the strategy. It's waiting on the plan. It's waiting on me to release it because there is somebody, listen, I want you to understand how strategic your Father is. If you are a believer in Jesus Christ the righteous, and even if you are not, I want you to know that there are gifts and there are gifts and call in and upon your life. You are called to stand in a certain place, whether it's to inspire people, whether it's to lift people up, whether it's to help people. Oh, listen, you have something that the world needs, or else you would not be here. I need you to hear that. You have something that the world desperately needs. It's waiting on you. It's waiting on you. And the reason why you keep dreaming about it is because you haven't released it. Oh my goodness, that's for somebody that's watching right now. That is for somebody who's watching right now. And I believe for some that's going to watch the replay. Listen, you keep dreaming about it. Listen, it keeps nudging you. You can't get rid of the thought. You can't get rid of the idea. Oh my goodness. It's not meant for you to release it. It's not meant for you to stifle it. Listen, we're talking about show up and release your power. And the second step, we're on the second step of how do you release your power? The first step is that you must first realize that you have something of value and worth to share, to be, and to do. And the second one is that you can no longer stifle who you were created to be. Listen, you can't stifle it. You can't squelch it. You can't wish it away. It keeps coming up. You keep dreaming about it. You keep writing about it. You keep journaling about it. You keep talking about it. And listen, it's not going away because it needs to be released. Listen, somebody needs to hear it. Somebody will benefit from it. Think about this. The longer that you hold on to the thing that you know that should be released into the world, how you should show up. Listen, we said to be ready, be willing, be able, and show up intentionally. That's what show up, my meaning of show up was. But the definitions meaning was to be what? To be conspicuous and clearly visible. You need to be seen. I'm not talking about you need to go and stand on the corner and say, look at me, look how cute I am. No, 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 no. Honey, we're talking about purpose here. We're talking about destiny here. We're talking about you stepping into the power that's already within you. Listen, and as you begin to develop and as you begin to walk in your place of purpose, listen, God will open up more doors. He will open open up more ideas. Come on, I believe this because I know that this is true. I've lived it and am living it. What he will do, he will open up more places for you. Listen, the word of God tells us that a man's gifts, listen, the word says that a man's gifts will make room for him and bring him or her before great people, before great men. Many of us are frustrated. Many of us are just ready to give up and wanting to give up. You know why? Because you're not functioning in your purpose. You're not functioning in your gift. You're not functioning where God has placed within you. So the very thing that you were meant and sent to the earth to release, you're stifling and you are blocking the process of what God desires in the earth. You are blocking the process of what God intended for you. Listen, your gift, walking in your gifting brings a level of fulfillment. Listen, walking in that area of gifting allows you, listen, to even fine-tune that even the more. And the word of God tells us that my gifts make room for me, not me making room for my gifts. I need for you to understand the word. Listen, literally make room. That word means to make your way broad. Does anybody need their way to be made broad? If that's the case, then you need to show up in your gift. You need to show up and release your power. Oh my goodness. Hallelujah. Show up and release your power. Hallelujah. It broadens the path for you. It opens up the way for you. And that working and using that gift, you are brought before great men. It didn't say that you bring yourself before them, but you using that gift. There's a method here. There's a method to what God designed. There's a method. Use the gift I gave you. Use the voice I gave you. Don't stifle it, but show up and release your power. Realize that if I placed it there, you better know that it's of value. If I placed it there, you better know that it's excellence. If I placed it there, you better know that it's of worth. Listen, he wants you to understand that you must recognize that there is something of worth, something of value to be and to do. You can't stifle who God has created you to be. You will be frustrated. You will be frustrated. And lastly, have you released your power? You need to realize that it's never, ever, ever meant for you. I'm going to fix my bow and let you think about that. Your gift was never, ever meant for you. It's not meant for you. What you possess is meant to be shared. What you possess is meant to be imparted. What you possess, oh my goodness, not meant for you to hoard. It's not meant. That's not the meaning of it. It's not meant for that. If you are challenged with identifying your power, remember we said your power is your ability to do or to act, the capability of doing and accomplishing something. Think about what you've accomplished and what think about the things that you do well. What do people say that you do well? What do they even call upon you to do because they know you do it well? These are your gifts. These are your strong areas. These are the areas that you can possibly be able to utilize to help lift someone, to help inspire someone, to help ignite someone. Because listen, it's not for you. Your gifts are for others. He's given them to you for you to use. And so you ask yourself some questions. How can I grow in it? How can I strengthen? How can I strengthen these areas? How can I release these areas to help, to lift, to empower, to encourage, to speak life? How can I do this? Show up in your power, your ability, which is that skill that you already know. Show up in your power, the ability to do and to act the capability of doing or accomplishing something. What have you accomplished? Show up in that. Show up in that. That'll already help someone. That'll already empower someone. Yes, is this making sense to you? Is this hope is making sense to you tonight? I hope I wanted to go beyond blessing you because I want you to act. Listen, we as the body of Christ, we consume, we listen to the word, we hear the word, we read the word, we pray the word, but sometimes we fail to act. Oh my goodness. It's time to act. Show up is a verb. Show up means to take action. Show up and release. Release is a verb. Show up is a verb. Show up, it says, remember, conspicuous, meaning to make clearly visible. Show up. How many of you are going to show up? Oh my goodness. How many of you are going to show up and begin to release your power? Oh, come on and show up. We consume it. We package it so nice. We take beautiful notes. My God, my God. But when it comes time for us to act on what we've heard, we fail. I need for us to come out of the fail category. Come on, because that's part of why we're frustrated, because we are not acting. We're not moving forward in what we've heard. We're not moving forward and what we know. Many of us are constipated. We are stuck and filled with the word. It's time to release. It's time to move. It's time to act. It's time to show up. Come on. My goodness. It is time to show up. Listen, you have a homework assignment because I want you to come back and join me next week. Because next week, we're going to talk about part 2, about what happens when we show up. We didn't talk about that tonight. All we talked about was what showing up was. We talked about releasing your power. In order to show up, 3 things that we told you to do, right? And then there were, what was it? Then the last part was, how did you release your power? Now we're going to talk about next week. Okay, what happens when I show up? Right? What happens when I show up? Because that's important as well. You need to know what happens, right? So the first thing is I want you to share the broadcast because I believe that people will be blessed by this, okay? Share the broadcast. The second thing is, where do you need to emerge and how can I assist you? Where? Remember what we talked about emerge was? It's to move out of and away from something and come into view, to become a parent, to realize your importance, to realize your prominence. How do you need to emerge? That is a question that you need to answer. Answer the question. How do I need to emerge? And if you listen, how can I assist you do that? How can I assist you in doing that? Listen, I know one thing that God has called me to help women to unleash dormant dreams, right? By teaching them how to connect with their inherent excellence. Listen, if I don't know anything else, I know that. So, where do you need to emerge? This is an action that you need to take. I want you to review your life, think about what's in your hands, what you're gifted to do, what people say you do well, whatever that thing is that you're trying to release, you're trying to launch, you're trying to step into something that's unfamiliar, and you're like, I don't know. Listen, I want you. What is it? What is it that you need to emerge? How do you need to emerge, right? Because remember, we said emerge was to do what? Move out of or away from something and come into view. You need to think about that question, right? Thank you, Judith. Thank you so much. Thank you for wishing me happy birthday. Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened, but it shut me out. But nonetheless, um, it's finished. We're finished with our broadcast this evening. And I'm hoping that you were blessed tonight and that you had the ability to connect with what was being said, and so that you can show up and release your power. I want you to know, join me back next week. Join me back next week because we will go through part 2 of our of this topic. Okay, it's going to be great because we've talked about what do you do in order to show up. And then we talked about how do you release your power. And now we're going to talk about next week when we come back, part 2, what will be is what happens when you show up. So remember your homework assignments. Your homework assignments is to, ask yourself, where do you need to emerge? And also to share the broadcast. And I look forward to seeing each of you next time, next week. I'm so sorry for the interruption. My other laptop just died. It just went out. So I had to switch to another one. But I thank you so much for hanging in there. Love you all. Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Joyce. I love you all. Blessings to you. So listen, you have the power to show up. You have something of worth to offer. And I need you to get to work, and I need you to get moving on what it is that's in your hands. What's in your hands? So remember that there is something of worth that you have, and I need for you to recognize that. So next week we'll come back for part 2, and we'll talk about to learn what happens when you show up, because it is important to know what happens when you show up. Blessings and love to you. Listen, I want you to go out and connect with me on Instagram, also on Twitter and Periscope. Periscope actually ends March 31st, so you can connect with me at Lady Buckmeyer. Please do that so you can stay connected with what's happening and what's going on. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nedra Buckmeyer. I would love for you to do that. And also, if you are an iPhone user, I have an iPad. I don't have an iPhone, but if you're an iPhone user, there's an app called Clubhouse. I'm also on Clubhouse. Join me there. Connect with me there. It's at Nedra Buckmeyer. Very simple. Looking forward to connecting and staying connected. Listen, show up and release your power. Love you. Have a great evening. And thank you so much for all of you that blessed me with your birthday wishes and your kind words. It was life to me. Thank you so, so much. I'm still celebrating. I'm still celebrating life and thanking God for the giver and the gift of life. Love you and have a great night.